All right, welcome everyone to Chart Request Live. It's CRL, the show where you provide the request, we provide the charts, and we go over some stocks in the process. So, I am Spencer Israel. The other guy is Patrick Donahuela, editor of the Chart Report and the Buzz. Pat, how's it going, man?
It's going well, going well. Filling in for
All right.
JC today, so I got some big shoes to fill. We'll
Oh
see how I
yeah.
do.
So you know the drill by now. If you have any requests, drop them into the chat. We'll do our best to get to as many of them as we can in the next half hour or so. If you want to cut the line in the chat, email us. That's always a better option. Questions at stockmarketmedia.com. I check that email every single day. I write down all the tickers we get in there, and we start with those. So let's do that now. You've got the Russell up. Let's take the Russell off here, though, unless you have something to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, real quick. So it's leading today. It also led, didn't S&P outperformed a little, but it led the others. Anyway, it's standing up a little off that key level there. 170 has really been kind of the level or area, I should call it. But this is a crucial level. It's been tested so many times. Next thing you want to see is we got to break above 200 here in the IWM. That one has been the top end of the range. I think this support hold gets you to the top end of the range, but whether or not we break out, we'll cross that bridge in a few weeks if we're lucky enough to get there. But yeah, I mean, good action so far. You got that nice reversal on Friday, and here we are, small caps leading today. So I like what I see from this, but let's get into it. So
Let's
UPS
get
was the
into it.
first ticker, right?
Yep, this is from Daniel. Daniel is thinking of buying UPS in his retirement account. So a long-term holding here, potentially for Daniel. Obviously, we can't tell
I
you
think
what.
Daniel's going to get a chance to buy this cheaper, to be honest.
Oh,
Maybe not, but maybe not. But this certainly looks like a reversal pattern or a distributive top. We could draw a little arc here. And the concerning thing here is that's coming after a really nice uptrend there. So that's kind of a concerning look. Now, where we're wrong here, or where we would be wrong, would be this. And you can kind of, some would call it a head and shoulders top here. You know, you could draw a little shoulder here, a little head here, if you want. But the whole idea of those patterns, and I think people get um, too into the details about the nitty gritties of the pattern. The bigger thing there, the distributive kind of pattern. So this is, yeah, kind of concerning. If it does hook higher here and reclaim this 160 level, I think then that completely invalidates what I just drew and everything. So I think if you do want to buy this thing, you probably want to see it reclaim 160 first. But if it's below there, little sketchy looking. Kind of looks like not kind of, it does look like a top.
yeah, certainly not buying the highs. So keep that in mind. Okay, what about Boeing? This is for Giovanni. Boeing.
All right.
This is what the email said. Boeing sits at potential support with the RSI reading oversold. What are your thoughts for buying Boeing here?
Look at that. This is the first positive week it's had in like 8 weeks. My gosh, it's just been a slow bleed lower. And I think so. This group was, I don't know if you remember, but at some point this summer, uh, the entire airlines industry had some nice relative strength. It was breaking out to new 52-week highs, and then it just kind of rolled over. So I'd imagine this was kind of part of that, but um, just really kind of trendless since COVID. I mean, you had that waterfall decline. We'll go back a little further. This is a weekly chart, but probably due for an oversold bounce. I'm not sure what his time frame is. Did he mention it?
No.
But wow, look at that. Just that looks like programmatic selling down. And then we're getting a little oversold bounce here. In the short term, I think this is probably the level you want to watch. Um, I'll call it 200 to be safe, but right around there, just under it. If it can kind of hook higher, reclaim these lows, that then you might have a nice further rally.
All right. All right, Wavy. Got a couple man. I know it's kind of wavy to uh to give a good
Wavy's
contrarian
always
play.
got the good ones. How you doing, Wavy?
He's always got a good contrarian play. So he's sniffing around the staples here. So
Okay.
he's sniffing around Dollar General and General Mills for a bounce. Let's look at DG.
Well, I don't think it's crazy here, as bad as they've been. And of course, like last week, they fell like a knife. But this is the consumer staples sector more broadly, and it's at a pretty important level here. Um, I know it's kind of a thick area there, but you can see that's where a lot of support has been found over the years. So it's not the worst trade here. And it's kind of hooking back higher, kind of false breakdown from those October lows. But anyway, sorry, what was the ticker?
Yeah, DG was the first one. And I guess you've got support from yesterday.
Oh
um,
my gosh.
yeah, you
What
got
happened
support from
here?
yesterday. Look, what
What
happened here
happened in this one? Do
is
you know anything around
fundamentally,
this?
I don't know anything. I mean, I know what those gaps are. Those gaps are earnings, but as far as what's happened in the last couple of weeks, it's been the whole sector. So nothing unique to Dollar General. I don't believe, but yeah, I mean it's bad. So, something
Yeah, so
falling
let's
knife.
right.
I
So
don't know.
this one, I mean, looks like it went public in 2009, 2010. Great time to go public, I guess. But you can see it kind of broke down there in July, and it has just been absolute waterfall since then. It you could say it's due for a bounce. I mean, that's yeah, like you said, falling knife. This is encouraging. You could probably get a nice little bounce to 113. If you get 113, maybe 123 to look next, but it could take months to fill this last earnings gap there. And then this
Yep.
one too, you got. So that's a oof. You're catching a falling knife. That's the definition of it.
I guess the best thing you can say is you got support at 101, right? Or 102, whatever, or 100, somewhere around there. But gosh, hey, well, you know what, Wavy, let us know how that goes. I'm very curious, because that takes gumption.
Oh,
Okay,
this was a
Joseph.
wavy one. Nice.
Yeah. Joseph's asking about Corning GLW. If you haven't been to
Okay.
Corning, New York, and the Corning Museum of Glass, I highly recommend it. Uh, Great little museum if you like glass art.
Yeah, right near Ithaca, New York, isn't that right?
That's right. That's right.
So this one, tough to really like it here. It's been in a downtrend since 2021 here, and it's just kind of been a slow bleed lower, making new lows, new lows, new lows. I think if you are long, you want to see it reclaim this 29-ish level, 29.30. Um, that is the last year's October lows, but the fact that we're, below those October lows, that's it's hard to get excited about it.
It just looks like so stuck. Okay, let's move on. Palantir for John,
Sure.
and then
All
once we go through
right.
these, we'll go to the chat. I promise.
So this one actually looks pretty interesting. So, it's obviously had a pretty nasty drawdown since, okay, I guess after it went public, had a really nice rally and then peaked around the same time a lot of stocks did, and then just slow bleed lower. But
Well, what
there's
did it
been
do?
some
20
nice
bucks?
action here. $20. Yeah, that's the level. You're right.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Important psychological level too. Um, some people might not subscribe to that stuff, but I think there's something to be said about that stuff too.
I agree. I
But
agree.
yeah, but 20 is the level. Yeah, you said it. I mean, if it's above there, that's good. You want to see it break out first, but not bad action this year at all,
No,
especially in the
no.
second half of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, what are we up off the lows?
Well, the low was $5.
100. Oh my gosh,
So
almost
yeah, yeah,
200% pretty much.
yep. So great year. As pretty much as bad as last year was. That's how good this year has been. Okay, let's move on.
I wonder what
Hansen
short
has
interest is like on that one.
uh I think it never
Um,
came. I think it never came down. Yeah, here. You know what? Let me see if I can.
7.6, 7.1.
Really? That's it? Hmm.
Yeah,
You know what?
not
I
yeah,
don't know
not
if I
too
can.
not too high
This is a retail
because
darling
there's better
stock.
stuff to short out there than government.
There are probably only a
They do a
handful of
lot of
stocks.
government defense
Yeah,
stuff,
yes, they
right,
do.
Palantir?
Yeah, they do. I was going to say there's probably only a handful of stocks that are more beloved by retail than this. Um, what about for Hansen?
More
Peak
over-owned, is that what you said?
just more loved. The
Oh,
retail
okay.
community loves Palantir. Loves Palantir. I'm not sure.
Is that right?
I'm not sure why. Oh yeah, oh yeah. If you look at trending stocks on any given day, stocks with the most mentions on social every day, Palantir every day. Um, I
Oh
don't know.
man. It's probably because they're kind of mysterious. Nobody really knows what they do.
That
So
could be it.
maybe.
That could be it. Okay, moving on. Hansen Chan's asking about
Bless you.
PKI. This is a Toronto Exchange stock. PKI.
PKI. I've seen this one before recently. I can't remember where. Let's see. What do they do? Do you know?
I don't
Wholesale
actually know.
distributors.
I don't know what they do.
So this is a nice looking chart though. So the way I draw it here, this is a daily chart, but this level right around 39-ish. And you've had this nice little flag or consolidation here right above those former highs too. That's really healthy. So that looks very good. Whoever recommended or whoever dropped this one in the chat, kudos. I like this one a lot. I'd be looking to the is that the all-time highs? 2021 highs here for a target like around 44. But this looks really, really healthy.
All right, last
I'm gonna
one from
write
the
that one down.
email. Last one from the email. We'll go to the chat. Is pronounced Chue? I'm not sure how you pronounce your name. Sorry. Asking about American Airlines and Shopify. So pick one of those on the weekly, please.
All right, yeah. You got it. Always love my weekly charts. Man, look at this thing. Yeah, it looks kind of like Boeing, right? And it makes
Yeah,
sense,
they
right? Two
trade
airline
together.
related stocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is what? Uh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
12 of the last 13 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
What? Are
Yeah.
we
No,
on
nothing. Sorry.
American
No,
Airlines?
I was confused. I confused myself. We're good.
Okay. So this is a pretty clear level right here. I call it 12. But anywhere really from 1150, I know it's kind of big, but 1150 to 12. Um, so that it's holding for now. I know you said weekly here, but I think it's good to drill in once we've established some sort of bias on the weekly chart. Here, you have a little bit of a bullish momentum divergence here. That next thing you want to do is see it break this sharp downtrend line here. So that bullish momentum divergence right here, if that gets you over, if price gets over that downtrend line, you could see a pretty nice sharp move back to 17, or even upper teens, that area. But man, airlines have just been
It's just not a good business. It's not a good business.
yeah,
Not a good
absolutely,
business. Okay.
man.
Shopify.
All right, shop. This one, slowly coming back. It's hard to like this one. This one's going to need some time. I think the first thing you got to do is pivot out, as my friend Steve Straza would say, right here. Throw on 38.2, 61 point. Yeah, it can't even get to those levels. So that's tough. I think you'd also want to look at this on a relative basis. So maybe shop relative to QQQ, the NASDAQ. Yeah, not too much to like here either on a relative basis. So it was a great stock for years, but it just hasn't had that momentum since it peaked, and you're not seeing it return like you are in some names like a Meta or something like that. Some of those other large cap darlings, if you will.
Yeah, a lot of overhead supply. Okay, what about from the chat? Yako is asking for SCHD. So let's go there. This is the who's got this one again? This is the oh, it's Schwab. Yeah, this is the Schwab dividend ETF. This was like one this ETF must have been one of the ETFs with the most inflows at the end of last year. It was just hugely popular last year. This is an income producing fund. Technicals, I mean, Pat can give you those right, but people buy this because it pays them. That's they
Is
don't buy it
it
for the
mostly like value names in there?
yeah. I mean, this ETF pays a pretty hefty dividend, right? So that's why you own it, right? I don't know. No one's owning
Right.
this for the growth. No one's owning this for the growth, right?
What is the dividend yield on it? Like 3.7.
You caught me off guard. I should have it, but I don't. Let me see.
You know, it's funny though. I'm looking at the components right now, and it's a lot of like Amgen, AbbVie, Chevron. Okay, that makes sense. Merck, Broadcom. Okay. But anyway, let's get to this one. So
Dividend
start off in a weekly
is
here.
not as high as I would have thought. 3.76%. That's not as high as
Yeah,
I
right. For something with dividend in its name,
that's
it's not
not as
as
high as
juicy
I
as
would
I
have
thought it
thought.
would be.
Yeah. Okay.
But you are
Interesting.
right. I know what you're talking about. These things did see a lot of inflow. That and also a lot of those covered call strategy ETFs
Oh yeah. Oh
between
yeah.
last year and this year. Yeah. What's that? JP Morgan has one. I
Yeah,
forget what it is.
Jeppy.
It's
Jeppy. Yeah.
Jeffy. Yep. Yep. Knew some funny name like that. So 71 seems to be kind of the level you want to see, or call it 70. 70 would be the level that you need to see hold. It is holding for now. But you know, if you're buying it for the dividend for long term, that's totally fine and ignore what I'll say. But I think on a relative basis, there's just a lot of other things. If you're going for a shorter term trade or something like that, I think there's better stuff out there. But actually doesn't look terrible on a relative basis. I think you could get a nice bounce in this thing. And of course that bounce means it's outperforming the S&P. So not bad.
Okay.
Not something
Nick
I would get involved in, but you know.
Nick Bundy's asking about TLT. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean you and
So
everybody else, Nick.
so I mean so it was open yesterday, even though the bond market was closed, and it had one of its best days in months, I think. Well, we can look. Drop the rate of change here. Yeah, best one of its best days in a while. Um, Rose over 1%. I didn't know what to make. Actually, over 2%. I didn't really know what to make of that yesterday. You know, was it just, you know, are we kind of making up for it today? I don't know, but um, you know, there's definitely signs emerging that we're seeing capitulation. And by that, I mean you're seeing record high volume. We drop volume on here. I mean, it's never traded this much ever. And so that is something that kind of looks like a bottom. You're seeing sentiment. I don't know what to make of sentiment right now for TLT. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of people that want to buy this bottom. And that's not usually what you see at bottoms. You usually see people scared to death to buy the bottoms. So that's a little concerning. The volume spike, like I said, indicative of a low, but it's really hard to get excited about this thing if it's under 93. 93, yeah, under there, I think you got to err on the side of caution.
Oh boy. Okay, let's move past that. Uber for Rachel.
Yeah. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Get rid of some of this stuff. Like we got earnings coming up. Not okay. Mid-November. Um, well, it's definitely looked good recently. Um, and I like this little consolidation action. First of all, you held above the prior lows. That's encouraging to see. Next thing you want to see, take out these former highs here, 49, 50-ish. I'll call it 50 just because, like I was saying about those psychological numbers, I think they're kind of important here. But that also coincides with a lot of resistance over here from October 2021. But we're trading in levels we rarely have seen in the last couple of years, so I think that's encouraging. And this is certainly a basing pattern. But Spencer, as you and I have talked about so many times, that basing process can be grueling, and there's a lot of backing and filling before you ultimately recover to the all-time highs. So expect more of that, but also I like how it's behaving here. You want to see 50 next, and if it gets above 50, it's that's very good. I think that gets you to the all-time highs.
Okay, for George, AVPT. What is that on the? Is that what I said? AVPT on the weekly slash daily.
All right. So
Ooh,
we got the weekly here.
that looks
Out
nice. That looks
week.
nice on the monthly too. They all look kind of good.
Yeah, not too bad. Um, I mean, yeah, it's had a pretty hard fall from grace here from these. Was this a SPAC? This looks like a SPAC.
Yeah, you can tell by the
Yeah,
$10.
by
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Almost all the SPACs I see, they have this random price action to the left, and then all of a sudden you see this. And that's. Do you know what the mechanics of that is? So is that
Yes, I do.
because the SPAC
Um,
is like a former ticker, right? That the company buys
so yeah,
turns into.
the original company, the where you see all the candles there at $10, that's the blank check company. Then they do a reverse merger and they acquire a company. Then the ticker becomes that new company. It converts over, but the shares of the SPAC, the par value is $10. So that's why you see all these SPACs start at $10 because that's the par value of the blank check company. And then once it converts to the new company, then it obviously will adjust based on the new company's business. But ten
I
dollars
see. I
is
see.
$10 is par for one share of a SPAC that has not yet bought a company.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's good to know. I didn't know that. I didn't know that thing about the $10. That's interesting.
yep.
So after its pop and drop, broke out of this nice downtrend line earlier this year. You could see that's a pretty well-defined trend line there, multiple touches uh, in the year prior to that. And retest, you're working higher now. I think the next thing you want to see is this $9 level, this 38.2 Fibonacci retracement of that major decline there. Uh, Now we'll go into a daily here. I like what I'm seeing here. This is very nice, especially today's action. But this little consolidation basically hit a high around 680 back in June, tried to get above it in August, couldn't do it. I like that action a lot there. Nice little multi-month base here. It's above that $7 level. I think you got to be looking towards nine, or upper eights, I should say. But yeah, it looks like it's behaving well, and I'd imagine it's outperforming the S&P too, because it's up like 5.3 today.
Yeah, yeah.
What
Like
do
I
they
said,
do?
I don't know. Honestly, this SPAC has not stuck in my brain like many of the other ones. So, um,
Is
here
that a good
let's look
thing?
at. It could be. I mean, that chart does not look that terrible. You know what I mean? I mean, there are a lot of
No, it
SPACs that
doesn't.
look awful. Ave Point is a software company. And what does that mean? They are a data management or they do Microsoft 365. So they're basically like um service provider of that. So
Oh, okay.
basically trends should in theory at least should trend with Microsoft. Okay, let's do one or two more. Let's look at EWZ. Nice one. Take 5 for the sunrise. Yeah. Let's look at some Brazil. What do we got?
Take 5 for the sunrise. So this one kind of been very range bound since COVID. You can see there it is. There's that major decline there. Honestly, kind of looks like those airlines just kind of been a mess. But we can draw a clear range here. So say right around here at 26 level has been support for a while. We're nicely above it now. Top end of the range, had this little kind of head and shoulders here. I think you kind of got that resolution, kind of hit its measured move price target for that. I'd say in the near term, you want to see it get above this 34-ish level. That looks like it's been kind of resistance for the last year right here. And that looks like it coincides with that gap here. Not sure what happened there, but resistance there, resistance again here this summer. So if it keeps moving higher, I think you want to see it break that 35 level. And then we could be talking about maybe 40 from there, 39.
All right. I like it. Okay, I think that's a good
Yeah.
place for us to wrap it
But
up
we
today.
can look at it
Sure. Yeah, go.
real quick, relative basis. Yeah, not much to like there either. So yeah, we'll leave it there for today.
All right, we'll leave it there. We'll be back on Thursday. As always, any requests, email us questions at stockmarketmedia.com or just drop them in the chat or tweet at Patrick or at myself. We are there or at Stock Market TV on Twitter. Pat, good job. As always, everyone, thanks for the comments and see you guys later.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.